Come on in.
But
Okay.
welcome everybody to another edition of Star Wars Collectors and Displays. I'm Jack.
And I'm Jim.
And we're here tonight with a lady named
Cassandra.
If you could take a few moments, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, talk to us a little bit about your collection, and then we'll let Jim get into some of the questions about it.
I'm originally from California, but I've been living in Hawaii for the last about 10 years or so. Yeah, I started collecting a long time ago. I used to go to conventions and many things. Yes, thank you. And this is my daughter Alara.
Hi, Alara.
She's also a collector of Grogu's.
You're cute.
Yeah. She loves Grogu's. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Let's go ahead and kind of jump into it. Obviously, you're a collector of Star Wars items. Are they predominantly action figures, vehicles, helmets, lightsabers, comics?
Mostly
you.
Don't step on that. Mostly it's mostly Boba Fett's, Grogu, Mandalorians, and Jango Fett's. And now Grogu's because she buys a lot of Grogu's.
And I see there in the back you have what appears to be a lot of Funko Pop.
Oh yes, predominantly Funko Pop. I actually stopped collecting Star Wars for a while, and then Funko Pop came out, and then I saw all the Boba Fett's and all the Star Wars characters. I started buying again, so it was like I couldn't get away.
And I noticed there must be a lot of variations because you have a number of Boba Fett's, and they all seem to have a little bit of difference to them.
Oh yeah, they're all different. I think my favorite one is the droids, Boba Fett droids. I don't know. I like the color and the.
Are you like Boba Fett?
Yes, I love Boba Fett.
I love Grogu's.
Yes, dear. So predominantly, it's mostly I like the color and the different styles that he has that people have created through the years. The comic book versions, different. Everything's slightly different, so it's always interesting. In the beginning, I didn't know there were so many, and then Funko Pop kept making like artist series, different series of Boba Fett. So it was like, just wanted to keep getting more.
And so the variations that they offer in Funko Pop is, as you mentioned, color or different artists that are doing them. They're not all the same character, just in a different box or different clothes.
Well, it's more like also different sizes, and there's besides the color and everything, there's different styles. Sometimes the poses are slightly different. I know that the Mandalorian, they had one with a black saber. They have some that glow in the dark, things like that, special features like that.
And so in addition to Funko Pop, are there any other 3 3/4 or black series, the 6-inch or the 12-inch?
Oh, I have those too. I couldn't help it. Once I started collecting back again, it was like snowballed into me buying everything else that had a Boba Fett or a Jango Fett. I've even gotten to where I've decked my car has been decorated. My bathroom is a Grogu bathroom.
I saw some of the video and pictures you sent to us. All those various stickers or decals on the walls.
Oh yes, decals on the walls. We also have plants, like Grogu holding different plants on the countertop.
Grogu plants.
Like he's holding a plant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So Boba Fett and Grogu, I assume, are your two favorite characters, and that would then bring in what the Mandalorian series, as well as the Boba Fett series, Book of Boba Fett.
Well, Book of Boba Fett wasn't my favorite. I like Boba Fett, but not exactly the Book of Boba Fett. I was kind of a little bit disappointed when I saw that's I didn't mind the characters and everything, but I kind of wanted the storyline seemed to. I wish they did the storyline a little bit better. I mean, it for some reason it lacks some sort of charisma to actually entice me to watch more.
I personally thought it was a little slow, a little boring, maybe too in depth, maybe.
Yeah, I think it could have I think they could have made it more like the Mandalorian, or they should have hired the same director to do that, because it didn't really I think a lot of people didn't really care for it as much as they could have. They they could have, one was the music wasn't as catchy.
Uh-huh.
Um I have my all my ringtones and everything is all Mandalorian based, and I was hoping that the music would be a little more catchy, and I was kind of going, oh, this is kind of um it's not as disappointing as the Han Solo movie that came out with, but
So you didn't like Solo then?
no, I didn't. I mean, I felt
Really?
like it kind of Solo was kind of one, it didn't have the original Han Solo,
Right.
that the Harrison Ford type of guy. They put some teenage kid in that didn't really give me the vibe of Han Solo, and the story was very predictable all the way to the end. It was like, oh, this is, I have a feeling I know what's going to happen. It kind of, there was no element of surprise for it.
Interesting. Interesting. So you've got the room there that you're in now with all your collections. You've got the bathroom with all the collections. You mentioned you've got the stuff in your car as well. Collectively,
And then there's another room that's like a study room that has that's full too. That I'm trying to clean out.
so
My,
collectively, how many figures or items do you think you probably have?
I'm thinking in well over like
1,000?
thousand, well over 1,000, maybe like 5,000. I'm thinking somewhere, it's pretty bad. Where the kids play area, there's a lot of Star Wars stuff there. There's even like a shelf all Grogu's on it. That's like the shelf that they put their Grogu's on. It's bad.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
I think
I
pretty much
Cassandra, I was
turned
going
all
to
my
ask you, what is it about Star Wars, or specifically the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Jango Fett, that makes you, so attracted to that character and makes you want to collect so much?
I don't know. I thought, I don't know. I thought he was really cool. I mean, he doesn't take his helmet off, and he's like, "It's no good to me, Dad." That was one of my favorite lines. And then I was like, this guy is, even though, I mean, I was born in the 1980s. I missed Star Wars by like, I don't know, 2 years at least when I was born. I didn't get it like a lot of people got it. I was maybe 3 years old when I got my first action figure. And I was pretty much too young to play with any of them. I still have somewhere in my parents' house. I still have Admiral Akbar from like 1980 something. It doesn't have a case or anything, but he's still there.
When you first saw Star Wars, was it in a movie theater? Was it on VHS at home?
VHS at home, and I was blown away. I was
Wow.
impressed. It was like one of those, you know how your parents stuck the recorder in, they pressed the record, and they recorded the movie on this tape, and then you would watch it. That's what it was. And then you fast forward through the commercials to get to the next segment. That's what we did.
And so I'm curious, that would be episodes 4, 5, and 6, the original ones, which you saw on the television set.
Yes.
Have you had the opportunity to see those in the actual movie theater on the big screen?
I think I did in college, like in my 20s. I remember a group of us all went to the theater, and some people wore robes and everything. I think I was just wearing my fan t-shirt, and I just went with my group of my friends. We saw 1, 2, and 3. I think it was like a marathon that day with a couple bathroom breaks and stuff. So it was kind of fun.
And was there a different feeling when you saw it on the big screen as opposed to the
oh yeah, it's
screen?
the sound and everything. Oh, that's nice, sweetie. That looks great.
So let me ask you this question. Knowing what your inspiration is, what is your motivation for collecting? Is it investment? Is it for looks? Is it for enjoyment? Is it an escape?
I would say it's just, I just love it. And it's like every time I see another one, I'm going, oh, I want that one to be on my wall, and that one, and that one. And it's like, part of me wants to actually design my room into I guess I could say like you're in, I guess, Star Wars paradise in a sense.
Very cool. So out of all the items that you have, is anything, or do you find any value in graded figures?
Like, not, what do you mean by graded? Like how they look, or their
You know,
mint
where
condition?
they've been sent in and they have the reference number there, the quality.
Not, I don't really get those. I just get what I try to get what I can. Stop doing that, Storm. This is like the Ewok that didn't sit still. Nub nub, nub nub, nub nub.
I don't want it.
Okay,
I
okay.
don't want to sit there.
We
And
have
so
to
along with the
sit in the
question in
middle. I
regards,
know.
Bedtime.
Fine, sit in the middle. Hello. Oh boy, there goes the camera. I knew she was gonna do that.
What? My hat.
Yeah, she got
So,
a new hat. Thank you for
a
sharing with
very
everybody.
nice hat there. Very nice hat. Along with the question about the graded, what is the importance of the items collected? And what I mean by that is it to have pristine figures, or is it just to affordably obtain the figure? Or is it, in your case, as you mentioned earlier, this one's in a different colored box, or this one has a different colored shirt on
It's
it?
like I just like having the variety.
I'm going to talk to you later.
Okay, fine. I just like the variety, so I keep getting more. And I feel like, well, you know, it'd be nice to have, I guess, everything, but I probably won't. I'll probably be doing a lot of custom builds, and I enjoy doing that. So it's kind of like getting more gives me an idea to be more creative in some ways. Getting a variety gives me ideas and inspiration to create more.
Mommy.
Yes, yes,
Mom.
okay, you can talk later.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of the Funko back behind you there, Cassandra, and a lot of them are still in their boxes. What is the
It's
difference there? Do you prefer to have everything in its original box, or do you take
it
things out and
depends. Every
display it loose?
collector is a little bit different. Excuse me, a little bit different. I like mine in the box, the original boxes. I like to try to keep them as clean and mint as possible. People say it gets more value. I just happen to like them boxed up like that. But I mean, for some people, they want it out of the box. I have a few that are out of the box that I have. There's certain ones that I take out of the box, and certain ones that I feel can stay in the box. But I guess
Outside of Funko, what if like you buy like a 3.75-inch figure or 6-inch figure? Do you tend to keep those in the box, or you take those out?
it'll vary. We just had a incident here where I ended up taking out a one of my bigger Funko Pops because the box got wet. Like we had I guess a small flood in our house, and then one of the box got eaten by the water. So I took that one out and cleaned it up, and it's still good, but it's just not in the box anymore.
And so you mentioned that you were probably about 3 years old when you first saw Star Wars, and your parents probably gave you a figure to play with. But from a collecting standpoint, when did you start, or how long have you been collecting?
Let's see. I probably started when I started going to comic book conventions again.
Okay.
I fell into like what they call the 2000 anime craze, where all my friends are watching Japanese anime.
For you.
I did that for a little while, maybe about 5 years, and then I pretty much, yes, it is.
Wow.
Yes, I went right. It's like I went right back to Star Wars. Did not go very far.
Is that for you?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's not for you to play with.
And
I got
your displays, what you have there on the wall, is it shelves that are built to hold those?
Yes.
Or are they pinned or tacked to the wall? How are your items displayed?
We use acrylic shelves and small screws.
Okay.
We have to use small screws because these are like single walled houses. We don't have like an insulated room like a lot of people in like in California and other states and places. There's no thick wall. It's like really thin. Like you could just like, if you put too thick of a screw, you could just drill right to the outside. That's
in Hawaii, the weather doesn't vary that much temperature wise.
Yeah, it doesn't. The one thing that I always find troublesome is I have to try to keep the room cool at times, even when, yeah. Yes, okay.
Sunglasses for the sun.
Yes, you do. You need sunglasses for fun.
And the reason for keeping the room cool is?
To hopefully not damage any of the items. I recently realized that I left one of my curtains open one time, and I actually ruined the box of one of my Funko Pops.
Because the colors faded?
The colors faded, yes. Luckily for me, it was not a valuable one at all. It was like one of those, it wasn't even a Star Wars one. So I was like, okay, well, lesson learned not to do that, especially around my Star Wars collection, no. And to
so
also,
your display space, now you've got the room you're in, a room that you're remodeling, you've got stuff in the bathroom, and then you've got stuff in your car.
yeah.
And those items that you've got displayed, and I asked this question a moment ago, are they sitting on shelves, pinned or suspended? And you said that they're on acrylic shelves.
Yeah, the acrylic shelves are drilled into the wall with little screws. And I bought those acrylic shelves on Amazon. They're pretty cheap.
Okay.
You can get like 4 or 5 for, I don't know, not much. And then, but they do add up when you keep buying them. I've ordered like so many of them just to hold all my collection. And I have like bookshelves in the other room and different bookshelves in different spots.
Do you have any lighting that you try to create effects with, or for illumination, or it's just the lighting?
I haven't done the lighting yet. I have the stuff. I just haven't put it together. But it kind of is a little bit hard when you have a little
Grogu
car running around here. I haven't got the chance to put the lighting into the especially for the black light area. I haven't finished that yet.
Now, you mentioned the black lighting aspects before we started the interview. Your hope is that somebody comes out with a line of products, Star Wars items that are black light illuminated.
Oh yes, I'm hoping for a black light figure at least at some point.
Now, when you had mentioned that earlier, the one thought that went through my mind was in those the scenes that they put in the boxes. There's a number of them that are the ghost version of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh yeah, they have glow in the dark versions of that for Funko. Those areas are glow in the dark, but it would be nice if they had black light for other areas. Like, I mean, they've done it with so many different characters. I'm just going, okay, it'd be nice to. I mean, I know the color scheme is a little bit kind of red, kind of like something that looks like the 70s, but I like it. I could go with that.
There you go. And so your collection, is it arranged by age, episode, character, scenes? Do you have any preference as to how you display stuff, in what order?
Right now this room is predominantly the Mandalorian and Boba Fett and Jungle Fett in this room, predominantly that area. The room next door to me is more of the classic 4, 5, and 6. The bathroom's Grogu's. I don't know why I did that. The car is basically, it says, "This is the way" on the back. So that's what everybody sees when I'm driving. I thought about getting a vanity plate, but I was like, God, those things are too expensive. And I didn't really want to put that on there because then people would be like, look. And they'll start, I guess, calling my name by that bumper. Vanity plate. I don't think so.
And do you have the ability to expand beyond where you're at, or is there a limitation?
There'd probably be a limitation, and that's probably the entire square foot of this house. I don't think I'm going to get very far after that. I could do the backyard. We did Halloween one year here. We had small plastic, I guess what they call the skeleton of Darth Vader and the stormtrooper hanging outside. We had like spooky fences with stormtroopers on them, the heads there, and different things. We had a pretty good Star Wars setup for Halloween. And then we had like blow up figurines and stuff for that area. Every year we have like Christmas is Grogu, Halloween's the Grogu, but I'm thinking, okay, I'd like to get some more if we can at some point, but I gotta first work on a few things at a time.
Well, Easter is coming soon, so you could do.
Oh yeah, I know. There's the Easter out, and I know one of my kid is probably gonna say, "Oh, I gotta have that for the Grogu collection."
For sure. You know, being in Hawaii, how does it work as far as like accumulating some of these items? Where do you go to shop? What are your sources?
Usually it's Facebook Marketplace because there's a lot of people that are elderly that, I mean, not elderly, but probably in like their 70s around there. There was a guy who was 80 years old that had 3 tubs of Star Wars collectibles. They'd been collecting for the last, I don't know how many odd years, but his wife was making him get rid of most of them. So I bought a bunch from him. Oh, good. Okay, go put it outside over there on the floor. Yeah, he had like 3. The way you get is from people who have already bought stuff years ago, and then they decided they don't want to do this anymore. And then you're on Facebook Marketplace, and somehow you get lucky. You just happen to be there at the right time in the right place, and you're like, oh, I want to get that one. Like this one from I was kind of shocked that I got one from, like, it was a Blockbuster giveaway for Blockbuster Video, and I had never seen anything like it before. It wasn't even listed on a lot of the collector sites. I was like, oh my goodness. And it was like all the characters were in the original package, which was very shocking because people said that, oh, I got the same set, but we don't have the box no more. So I heard that before. And this guy happened to be selling it, and I was like, oh, sure. He's like, I'll sell it to you for, I can't remember how much, but I think he sold it for, I think I spent about $40 on a bunch of stuff he gave me. And I was going, wow, it's an awesome deal. Because people don't always know what they're giving away out here. So you can get some good stuff.
Well, their motivation maybe is to get rid of it or give it away.
Give it away to another generation.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm considered pretty young for being a fan, given that I was born in 79 and Star Wars came out in 77.
On what kind of farm did Luke Skywalker grow up on? A moisture farm. Thank you for supporting our channel. May the Force be with you.
Hello, I would like to take a few moments to discuss with you a serious affliction that may be affecting many of us: collector's disease. This can occur with one or more issues when we begin to collect Star Wars action figures and collectibles. You threw out a lowball offer and they accepted it. The seller didn't know what they had, or they just needed to get rid of it. Sometimes opportunity knocks, and if you don't answer the door, it won't knock a second time. It's these situations that sometimes require pushing the limit, whether it be your pocketbook or a credit card, and sometimes temporarily borrowing from your child's piggy bank. Finding a deal can be crucial because spending money has been scientifically proven to make us feel guilty. The more we spend on an item, whether it is something necessary or not, the more guilty we start to feel. Interestingly, women tend to feel more guilty about spending money than men, but young people are feeling far worse than their older counterparts for spending. This is logical because considering young people are expected to save for their house deposits and their future, whereas older generations may have already paid off their mortgages or be well set up. Therefore, finding a deal is important to mitigate these feelings of guilt. In fact, discovering a deal can make us feel a rush of adrenaline and excitement. Adrenaline causes a sudden jump start to the body's system, which sends certain functions into overdrive. Blood pressure spikes, sugars are released into the bloodstream, and there's an increase in respiration, and the individual can experience feelings of added strength. Adrenaline gives us a temporary rush of heightened sensations, and that's why thrill seekers and possibly collectors chase deals or pursue adventure and new experiences to recapture that feeling. Whether you've been collecting for years or are looking to begin your first collection, there are many collectibles to choose from. Whatever you choose, take pleasure in the art of building a collection. In the end, collecting is something that is meant to be enjoyed. Whether you view it as a scavenger hunt, a great way to expand your horizons, or simply a way to brighten your home, collecting can be an enriching and rewarding experience for all family members. Most importantly, though, be aware of its consequences. But above all, enjoy it and have fun. I'm Jim Stein, and may the Force be with you.
This is Jack in the Box. We finally get our box back from CAS.
Me? Poetry?
We don't just spread fun through action figures, we get close and personal with the actors that played these characters.
I'm Nick Joseph, and I played Major Aho Extrafon.
You were the one that banged his head in that doorway?
Yes, that's me, yes.
And then they dressed me as a Hoth rebel.
Be sure to subscribe and binge watch all of our episodes. Thanks for tuning in to Jack in the Box.
But the number one movie when I was born was actually Superman with Margaret Kidder and Christopher Reeves. That was the number one movie when I was born. Everybody was watching that one.
And so in addition to Facebook Marketplace and occasional garage sale, you had mentioned Target earlier, any online sources?
Usually I'll go to Mercari if I have to. eBay sometimes, trying to avoid a lot of those areas, including Amazon. But I always try to get something that's secondhand because then it's a lot cheaper. Sometimes you can get like a good bargain, or you could bargain it down to a price that you want. And Poshmark, I think that's the other one that is kind of, mostly people go there for clothes. I found the occasional good stuff there, but not always.
And your reason for avoiding Amazon and eBay is what? Shipping cost, or the quality of the shipping or the delivery?
You know, it's not just the shipping cost, but the price sometimes is higher than what you would get on off market. And sometimes they do charge extra to send to Hawaii, and it does take longer to get here. Okay, there.
So my next question is, and I think the answer is kind of obvious. You've got yourself, your daughter, and your husband. Who is the collector?
I'm predominantly the collector, but I think everybody else has followed me. Yeah, the one thing I would like to make on one of our doors is that I would like to turn it into a Han Solo stuck in the door.
Oh, okay, the carbonite version.
Carbonite Han Solo in one of our doors. I saw something like that online, and my husband was like, "Oh, we should do that. We should seriously turn one of our doors into Han Solo stuck in carbonite." I go, "When are we going to get to this?" He goes, "I don't know." We're going to have to get to it somehow.
We did an interview with a fellow, I want to say from Rhode Island, and he had, I would say it was a door size Han Solo in carbonite.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was impressive. It was behind him in the interview, and it was the predominant feature behind him.
Yeah, I would say that's a little bit harder out here to get materials, so
Sure.
it'll be a little bit more difficult to make something that wonderful, but it's something that it's gonna take a lot of work. But
There you go.
Hawaii, that's how it is. I mean, it's harder to get the materials. It's hard to. You have to be very strategic. You have to really think it, because the rooms and the houses are pretty small. So putting collectibles in here, I have to think strategically on where I'm going to put everything before I put it there, so that I can maximize the amount of space that I have.
So my next question is your collection or your mode of collecting. Are you obsessive? Are you compulsive? Is there a budget? Are you under control? Are you out of control?
I would say I have to think logically before I bring something into the house, to the collection. It's like, I mean, I could go to Target and go, "Wow, that's on sale, and that one's on sale." But then it's like, okay, what am I predominantly collecting at this point? And I have to think about it. Okay, most of my collection is Boba Fett's, Mandalorians, and Jango Fett's. So try to stick to the main theme of what you've got here, and try not to buy too many excess things. But it is difficult. And I think being a female collector is a little bit harder because there's a lot more out there. Like purses.
Oh, okay. I see
Star
what you
Wars,
mean.
I mean, it's more like well, my purse is somewhere in the other room, but it is it's like the head of Boba Fett is my purse.
Wow.
And then there's I got other ones too, like Jango Fett, Mandalorian, and Loungefly produces all these different bags, like what they call I guess cosplay bags, where they look like the guys' heads in different uniforms and everything. So it's kind of a lot of female collectors buy those to add to our
Wow.
collection.
That's interesting. And by the way, you are our first female collector, so your comments and insights are new to us, and offer a whole different point of view.
Yes, and then the other thing that I've also have is Star Wars ornaments too, Christmas ornaments. That's like that's another that's a whole nother different kind of collecting too. I actually have a cousin who has pretty much a Star Wars Christmas tree every single year, and pretty much buys every new ornament every single year it comes out. So he's been collecting Christmas ornaments since 2000.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
had Star Wars Christmas ornaments, and he lives in Rancho Cordova, and every single Christmas year he puts out a giant Christmas tree with a Death Star on the top of his tree, and everything is all Star Wars based. I don't know. That's like the only time you can display a Star Wars collection.
So aside from yourself, your daughter, and your husband, who sees your collection?
Pretty much nobody. I don't invite people over because
Okay.
they'd be like, oh,
Which is my next question. Those who have come over, what is their reaction?
Mostly I think is, are you going to stop anytime soon? Or I have my parents who come and visit from California, and sometimes they go to Southern California and they went to Disneyland or they went somewhere. Oh, we brought these Star Wars things for you.
Oh wow.
They contribute to the like Star Wars pens or something. They contribute to the the growing fandom.
Oh, very cool. So I think I already know the answer to my next question, and that is, what is your favorite item? Not character, but favorite item.
Oh my goodness, it's a lot. Ooh. Oh my goodness, that's a tough one. Wow, there's a lot.
It's got to be a Boba Fett or a Grogu Funko Pop.
Oh my goodness. I think
If you were going to a deserted island, what would be the one item you'd bring with you?
probably my droid. The droid's the droid Funko Pop. Boba Fett droid is my favorite one out of all of them. I mean, I got him for a really good bargain at the time because he's even more expensive than when I bought him. So I would say that. I mean, he was only like a couple of grand when I bought him, but now he's like getting up there, and I'm going, oh boy, oh boy. But then I didn't just love him for the value. I loved him for the fact of the way he was designed and his build and everything. I would take him out, but then I'm like, my kids, I don't know. I just don't want them playing with anything like that at this point.
So knowing that Boba Fett and Grogu are your two favorite characters, can I assume that episode 4 and The Mandalorian are your two favorite movies or series?
Well, right now, Mandalorian is one of my favorite series. I still like the old classic Star Wars. I still love them no matter what. I like the original ending for episode 6. I do not like this remodeled ending where they put Hayden Christensen in with the ghosts and whatnot. And that kind of, every time someone says, we're going to watch episode 6, and I go, okay, which ending are we watching? And that's, and to hear like, oh, we're going to watch the new whatever. I'm like, I want the old one. because that's the one I enjoyed the most. And I didn't like any of that stuff that they added. And they show all these different scenes. I'm like, I don't need all that. I just want the one with the Ewoks dancing and the and then they're hitting the heads of the stormtroopers and stuff. I mean, like drums and things like that. I think in some ways the original 1, 2, and 3. I don't know how a lot of people feel, but I'm sometimes kind of going, I don't know. Maybe they should have hired a different director. I don't know. Or they should have thought it through a little bit better. Because every time I watch it, no matter what, there's always like one question of why is blah. I always have a question every time I watch that any of those episodes. Why couldn't they do this? Or why did they have to do it this way? No, that's I'm always wondering.
Cassandra, I wanted to go back for a second what you were talking about with the Christmas tree ornaments. Are those like the Hallmark ornaments that you're
yes.
set?
Yes, I end up buying those. I have a bunch of Grogu's. Some I have a Razor Crest and a few other things. I would like to try to get some more of those. They're a little bit harder to find, I guess, with time going by and everything. Could always wait to inherit my cousin's collection, but I don't know what I would do with all of that. That's like 100.
Do you actually then, I guess, take those out of the box then? Those are something you actually take out?
They're actually, believe it or not, most of them are in the box. I didn't take them out. I guess I take them out around the holidays and then put them back in. I got one with the Darth Vader Christmas caroling. I love that one. That was a fun one.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, and then the Death Star's right there by on the roof, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want. I basically take out the Christmas ornaments for Christmas and then put them back in the box after Christmas.
Interesting. Cool.
Thinking that something will happen.
And out of all the movies and the various series that are currently out there, if you had the ability to be any particular character, anyone that you would like to be yourself?
Let's see here. Trying to think here. Probably a female Mandalorian, if anything.
Very good answer. Very good answer.
Not the main one, but probably somebody in the background with one of their cool helmets and the body armor. And then the jetpack that flew alongside in the background. Nobody noticed.
Yeah, I just happened to watch, episode 4 of The Mandalorian 3rd season just last night. And there was a lot of jetpack flying around.
Oh, yeah, that was. And they're saying, okay, don't use the jetpacks because you're going to wake up the monster. And that creature's going to come in. He's going to, the young man, the fondling is going to get killed if you do that.
That's correct.
Yeah, we were actually, I mean, to you guys, what age do you think is appropriate to actually watch Star Wars?
I mean, for me, I'm kind of open that any age is appropriate for any movie because it is ultimately just a movie.
Yes.
You know, there might a child at 7 or 8 years old, especially watching like a PG-13 type of show or even an R-rated show, might have some questions about it, or might not even be interested. A lot of it goes right over their head. They don't even get it. But, you know, I recommend Pulp Fiction to any age, and Star Wars would be to any age as well.
Good one. Yeah, we let the 3-year-old stay up late watching Mandalorian with us most of the time.
I don't see that as being a bad thing whatsoever.
Oh yeah, she's totally into it. She's like, I want one of those.
You know, there's so many of these kids TV shows out there, and they've got buzzwords or buzz phrases. The one that's going through my mind at the moment, the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. And next thing you know, the kid is singing that for the whole week.
Well, yeah, she'll watch some stuff, but mostly it's even stuff that I wouldn't even really want to watch because it's all math, logical, something. All has to do with, like, her latest one is about physics, trajectories, and different things like that. And I'm like, that's what I'm thinking, because it's not really and that's probably why she likes Star Wars, is a lot of the trajectories, a lot of the special effects, and a lot of this stuff. She's really into a lot of physics and defying the laws of gravity and stuff. So
Very cool.
So
So
the Mandalorian was recently teaching Grogu that, to be a Mandalorian, you have to learn how to navigate the galaxy, and
Navigate. Yep.
Alara is right up that alley.
Yeah. Yeah. Next thing you know, they're gonna have a Star Wars character called Alara.
Yeah.
as you pointed out, there's a Star Trek character called Alara.
Well,
Yeah,
Or
actually
it
from
wasn't
Orville.
Star Trek, it was
offshoot.
The
who?
Orville, Seth MacFarlane's The Orville.
Yes.
Yeah, and that one is like breaks down doors, can knock out a guy if he's not careful.
So my final question for you in regards to advice that you might pass along to future collectors or potential collectors or those who are already collecting, what might you suggest?
I would say like don't go for the most expensive. Shop bargain like as cheap as possible. Also, when you get something, the importance of actually protecting it if you want to preserve it in a case of sorts. I can recommend that because you never know when something's gonna happen. I mean, we had a house flood and I only lost one box of a Funko Pop, but I mean everything else it's heartbreaking to lose one box, but everything else was safe, which I was going, holy moly. But anything that was stuck in one of these cases was actually didn't have any damage. So I was like, importance of protecting what you really care about as a collector. That's the most important thing. Even if you take them out of the box, I mean, at least have a plan of where you're going to put everything if something does happen. And get insurance too.
Yes, I have with the collection I have in here and the value, I thought, I'd be silly to lose the house. And I called my insurance lady and I asked her, if the house burns down, is this stuff covered? And she said, well, you're covered for X amount of dollars for personal property, of which she said they have a policy that they could issue for it. But I not only would have to provide a list of all of those items, I'd have to provide pictures of all those items as well. And if we're talking 1,000 different items, that's 1,000 different pictures. I did find a collector's insurance policy place that said a list is enough. And since I buy all my stuff and I buy it with the potential of it being resold, which allows me the ability to deduct the sales tax, I have that list in QuickBooks, so I can easily print that out, assuming the computer doesn't burn up in the house fire. But yes, if you have a large collection, having it insured, and it was a couple $100 for $20,000 worth of insurance.
Yeah, I actually list all my stuff in there's phone apps that keep track of pretty much all my entire collection. I have everything listed on what I have and what I'm looking for. And then that's how I keep track of what's there, pretty much. So that in case something happens, well, here's the list. All on my phone, provided I get my phone out with me.
Exactly. So Casandra, thank you very much for spending time with us this evening. You have a great collection. I very much enjoyed hearing about the Funko Pop, which is the stuff that we have not experienced yet. I also enjoyed hearing a woman's perspective on the collections. So I do thank you very much. I'm envious that you're in paradise. I have to ask about, how is Hanauma Bay these days?
I actually have never been there.
Really?
I don't really go to a lot of tourist places. I usually stay within a certain area. Usually,
I hear that it's almost a lottery just even to try to get in there now.
Yeah.
So
You have to make
overwhelmed.
a reservation. Everything has a reservation now. You go to the volcano park, you got to make a reservation. You go to see the sunrise, you got to make the place where I went on vacation with my husband one time in Maui, Haleakala, you have to make a reservation just to drive up there.
Wow.
So it's pretty crazy that everything requires a reservation to go.
Is it just that everything's gotten overwhelmed with tourists? There's so many of them, or it's just so out of control?
Well, we had a break from tourists for a while, but with everybody coming back, it was just too much. And sometimes a lot of places out here, like businesses, haven't even recovered. Right. They don't even have the manpower to help people, or to serve, for restaurants. So some of my favorite dining places have already closed up because they couldn't hire anybody because there's nobody there now. People have left because we were isolated for so long, or they switched to online jobs and they decided they didn't want to go back. That too.
My sister lives over on Kauai, and she originally started working in the tourist part at the airport as a car rental place, and of course that all dried up for 2 years, but that's now starting to pick back up again.
Yeah, the problem is when it picks back up, people couldn't get cars.
Yeah.
There was not enough cars for any of the people who were coming.
Yeah.
And then you had it's like my parents came and they couldn't get a car and I had to drive them everywhere for like an entire week, and it was like, oh my gosh. I get a phone call, can you come to Waikiki and pick us up? It's like, take us to the store. Like, I'm going, oh no. So car rental is really important, but I'm glad they got it up to speed now. But for one entire year, it was awful. Just that first year getting out of the pandemic was terrible.
Well, again, I do thank you very, very much. Great collection. Loved your little daughter, Alara. And I wish you all the best, and mahalo.
Mahalo.
And before we actually break here, I just want to remind everyone out there on YouTube, if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Give us a like as well. That helps the algorithm a ton. There's comments down below. You can leave Casandra a comment, maybe a question. I'm sure at some point she'll come back and she'll check those questions, give you an answer. Or Jim and I, we can also do some answering. Casandra, again, from my side, thank you for doing this with us. And as I like to end things, this is the way.
This is the way.